this is Honey, a rising 4-year-old. I'm doing for Alicia. Not long had the horse, but the horse is in panic mode, or was in panic mode around the ears here, and you just saw her throw her head up like that. You'll see a little bump across the bridge of her nose. My summation with this horse is she's got her head caught through a steel rail at some stage, pulled back, and at the same time brought her face up and banged the steel rail across that nose, because she is in dead set panic mode around the ears and doing all this stuff. We'll get her out of that though. Now, I've already gone through a bit of it, where I normally take the rug off and I'll rub them here a few times, slower than their pulse. You can come around here a little bit, Alicia, if you want to see that. Slower than their pulse. Good on you, love. We've halfway over already. Then I go up there. Yeah, that's lovely already. She just exhaled. I rub quite firmly up there, just like their paddock partner does when they rub them over the neck. And that gives the horse confidence. It thinks I'm its paddock mate. You don't pity-pat around up there, you go in firm like that. Because when a horse rubs over the other horse's neck, it rubs very firmly. Rightio. Then I come up here. And again, I usually use the back of my hand at this stage when I'm behind the horse's ear. And I rub slower than what I want the horse's pulse to ever be. You think it's ridiculously slow, but you can never do it slow enough, honestly. And there she softened even more. Rightio. Now when I first went near this horse's ears before, she went into panic mode, like that. But I'll show you how she'll come out of that. Again, I'm going to massage her here. I call this overlapping, right? I went straight for her ear too soon. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back a step where she's enjoying it. And I call this overlapping. Doing something she's already accepted and overlapping it with something she hasn't yet accepted or is scared of. And there's the result you get for overlapping. It's a lesser jump for the horse, because all I've done is extend this, which she accepted, further up her neck to this point here. I haven't come at her in a different manner. So I can then turn my hand around, and we've bridged that, or we've walked across that bridge or jumped that bridge without the horse panicking. Right. So as soon as the horse panicked like that, go back a step and do some overlapping. I've already done a bit of this before, but you saw how soon she reverted. I come over here, again, slower than you want the horse's pulse to ever be. That's always a good sign when they bring their head around to you. You know you're on the right track. This horse apparently can bite, but it won't bite me. I hope. Yeah. Not when you start winning it over. Now I'm going to push down pretty hard on that, because when horses play with each other, they use their body strength, honestly, and she's not minding that at all. Don't do that from the outset though. If you do that straight off, you'll have a horse go backwards. You've got to do everything gradually. So I'm going to overlap again with this ear on the other side. Make sure she's not going to be sensitive to that one, because I've already done this one. And when I'm rubbing to the other side, I'm going to rub past the one she was already panicking about. I'm going to rough and tumble this ear now. Bit of rough and tumble, because if she was out in a paddock with a mate, they'd be doing this. But she's only panicky when she's around a human being. Sorry. And she's come around good. You can see by the lips there how much she's softened already. I'll try and talk louder because of the plane going over. Sorry. We're near the airport, Bendigo Airport. Rightio. I can nearly push her head down on the ground now. And she's a willing participant in that. But you'll have to come back up here, love. Rightio. She's also a bit fractious around the eyes. She was, as you saw earlier, she was throwing her head up. But all these steps I'm doing are the building blocks of winning this horse over. And by this time, the power of association's kicking in. She enjoyed that, she enjoyed that, she enjoyed that, she eventually enjoyed that. So by the time you've done 4 or 5 things, hello love, they're anticipating everything after that to be kind. And do make it kind. Don't put it on, be kind. Because horses can pick up on body language, they know when you're fudging. Right, so come around the front, go up under that forelock, or what she's got of a forelock. Got more of a forelock than I got anyway. And every horse loves that. But do it slower than a horse's pulse. Everything's slower than a horse's pulse, because when a horse focuses on what you're doing, and you're doing it slower than the horse's pulse, there's only one way the horse's pulse can go, and that's down and down. Oh, see that? We'll win her over. We'll win her over. It's embedded in this horse. That's embedded in you, isn't it, love? We'll get that out of her in no time flat. We'll go back here. Now every horse loves getting its eyes rubbed like that. I'll put this up for a sec, it's getting in my way. Rightio, love. We'll come back here. Now I'm going to do overlapping. I do heaps of unbroken horses out in the 100-acre paddock, and they're better than this, right? They wouldn't be doing any of this because it's a clean slate. I've got to touch their muzzle for the first time, and again, I go back to overlapping. I'll do something they enjoy, and then you watch where my elbow goes, because I've got to make contact with an unbroken horse in a 500-acre paddock. I've got to make contact with its muzzle. So I've gradually kept massaging its face, slower than its pulse, and I've brought my elbow in to make contact with her muzzle. And now I'm massaging her muzzle. I can stop doing her face and just nice and slow. I can make my hand look ugly now. We'll get that out of it, that head tossing. That's what she's been doing, isn't it, Alicia? All that sort of stuff. Yeah, we'll get that out of her. It's just embedded in your brain, isn't it, love? Hey? Now I'll show you a little trick here. I was talking to Alicia before. You've got to try and aim at the primal instincts to relax a horse. We all know the primal instincts when a horse panics, the flight and fight response. But think primally what made a horse relax. One of the first things that made a horse relax, or one of the most primal things that when they were relaxed, is when they were born, their mother came around, and what their mother did was she licked that membrane off her nostril. Now you're a bit panicky, I know. She'll come around, you watch this. This is primal instincts kicking in here in a minute. That's her mum licking the membrane off her nose. And when she did that, the horse started breathing. How lovely was that when it happened? So this horse, come on, you'll remember it. And the other thing that happened at that time was the mum's warm breath. So I'm just going to hold my hand over her nostril for about 3 breaths. I've got it off about 2 centimetres off her nose. Her own warm breath will be going back up her nose by now. You can see her eyelids closing now. Bit of primal instinct kicking in there. But see that? She can't help but throw that head, can she? There's something worrying this horse. So we'll go back here. Most horses, unbroken horses, wouldn't be doing this. An unbroken horse, I can get up in here, and they love that. Now, their paddock mate couldn't do that, and their mum didn't do that to them. She never put her tongue that far up their nose. But P Lane, well, I've done this, so suddenly I'm trying to put myself one level above her mum and her paddock mate in the likability stakes, because I'm doing something she enjoys. And with an unbroken horse, I can do this out in a paddock now and wave to you, but this horse might go backwards, but we'll do it. They love it that much. And right, the coup de grace in winning a horse over is this next bit I do. It's called a gum massage, and again, a bit of overlapping. I'm going to wet my finger, just makes the job easier, and my thumb. Now I'm just putting that parallel with the teeth. This is a horse that can bite, you've got to remember. So I'm going to snake my thumb up above. Now this horse is going to fight me because it's all new to her. If this is an unbroken horse, she wouldn't be fighting at all because she's just willing me to do the next thing. This horse might have had its nose twitched or anything. Rightio, and where I want to be, but I've got to hold her, I've got to control this horse and transfer the focus from this halter onto the gum massage. Usually takes 20 seconds with even a bad horse. So what I'm doing is circling my thumb about the size of a 10-cent coin. Here we go. About the size of a 10-cent coin, the rim of a 10-cent coin, and every bit as slow as I was massaging her. I'll show you in a minute. But you see her, it's starting to take effect already. And when it does, I can loosen that off. Like, don't even hold it. Although I should have, the way you throw your head around, shouldn't I? But anyway, I'll show you what I do. Worst case scenario, if a horse has been horribly twitched and won't let you near its nose first, straight off the bat, it only takes 4 goes at this to win them over. Yeah, that's chronic, that head tossing. So when I do it, I've got a wet thumb, I'm massaging about that speed. Boom. Boom. Again, slower than her pulse rate. Now we're going to go back in again, and she'll probably resent it a bit this time too. By the 3rd or 4th time, she'll will me to put it in there. But we've still got to get her out of that head tossing bit. It might be worth checking her for ear mite or something. There might be something in her ears annoying her. She got a bit of sand up there, which is a nuisance, but there you go. That's a lot better. Bring it out, see? There's no excuse for what she's doing there. That was the second time. So we'll start getting a bit ugly, so I'm going to put a twitch on her now, and it won't affect her one bit. Because the pennies drop with this horse, that this is quite soothing. This bloke's not so bad after all. I'm the only one that's ever done this to you. Your mum didn't do it, your paddock mate didn't do it. Hey? There's the third time. She's not as relaxed as I like. Most horses have got their eyes half shut by now. That's the third time, and even if the worst, head tossing horses, the fourth time, even if they've nearly had their nose pulled off by a twitch, they're loving that.